Good morning from Denmark. Hi, I'm Ken Hardman with more Ancestor Clips. This time, looking across the bay, is the tiny island of Oro in Denmark, where my wife's great-grandfather, Jens Hansen, grew. We call this Ancestor Clips Turning the Tide. Young Jens felt alone on the Oro Isle, alone as a boy could be. His mother and brother were taken in death. His father was gone, so you see. His grandmother's sister took him into her fold, but the fold was too cold for his care. He attended the school, he attended the church, he bided his time while there. From the shores of his island he could see cross the fjord, through the mouth to the north of the bay. The island grew smaller as the tide rolled in, as he sat on the shore each day. Then, when old enough to be his own man, he set out to follow his dream. A sailor he made in the Navy Dane, turning tide on the life that had been. On ship he was agile, trustworthy, and strong. He climbed the rope ladder and mast, unfurling the sails, catching wind round the world, turning tide on his difficult past. One day, with the wind in his light brown hair, he returned from the open sea and cast his blue eyes on a beautiful sight and married sweet Elsa Marie. Jens Hansen is a great-grandfather of my wife, Joan Losi Hardman. I find strength in his example of moving from limited opportunity to great potential. I picture him in a lowly church pew looking upward to God, from a small island in the Isle fjord to the wide open seas as a seaman, from the decks of clipper ships to the heights of their derricks, unfurling sails to unveil the horizons, and on, upward to the potential of God's plan for him, as evidenced by the rest of his history. I am pleased that my children and grandchildren can look up to their ancestor, Jens Hansen, as one who positively turned the tide. Joan, here we are in the Oro Chapel, the original Oro Chapel, on the little island where your great-grandfather Jens Hansen grew up. What are your feelings about Jens, and what kind of example does he mean to you?
My first thoughts are of my mother, who talked in a loving way to me concerning her grandfather, who was mostly raised on a tiny island of Oro, that there was a chapel there, and it had boats coming down from the ceiling, and it's very special to be here and feel a little bit connected to great grandfather. I've always thought him an amazing person. He married my great-great-grandmother when he was older, but he was a wonderful husband and father to their children. I know he was a hard-working man, and I know he had a great deal of faith, and that increases my faith. I also know that he liked cats, and I like cats. And I look forward to seeing him someday.
Here I am at the highest elevation of Oro, the island, in the middle of this beautiful fjord. Church where Jens Hansen would have attended is right behind me. This beautiful day on this beautiful island.